Hello, and welcome here on my working table. It is Saturday once again, and it is time for doing the word challenge. My name is Lisbeth, and I'm Danish, so pardon my bumpy English, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. This video here will be about me making the piece for week 34 in this word challenge, and the word challenge isn't my invention. It is Rita Summers, and she's the host for this challenge, and you will find her informations here below under the video in the description box or under the little word more. And also I would like to say, if you're not into stitching and that doesn't interest you, for instance, look at the playlist, and there I have divided my content up in all different things. It can be about bookmaking, jelly printing, collaging on both fabrics and on papers. It can be about slow stitching. It can be about a specific technique. It can be about a specific subject or a specific project. So look there and find what interests you there, and skip the other things instead of scrolling up and down and up and down in all these videos I have at the moment. It is my channel is four year here. In the beginning of August, I have been here on YouTube for 4 years. So and that being said, if anybody feels for it and they want to support my work here with my channel and with my challenges I also have been going on, several has asked me how they can do that, and you are able to do that by following the links here under the video, and there is a link for my Ko-fi account and for my PayPal account, but all I do here is for free, so in any way don't feel obligated, but for those of you who has been supporting me, thank you very much. I am so grateful to all of you who does that. So thank you again. The last little thing I want to say is somebody also made me a comment. Why don't you have the hype button? And the hype button is also a button that is here under the video. There's the notification bell and download bell and tabs here, and there is also some channels that had a button saying hype, and that means you can, I don't know the exact rules for it, but it's something about you can hype. I don't know if it's the same video or it is 3 different videos you can hype every week, and that is so helpful for smaller channels or Danish channels like mine, who isn't pushed out as the first thing because of the language. They think I am Danish, and Denmark is such a small country, so why look at her videos? And there can be other things. You can just have been starting your channel and so when you want to grow. So it would be very helpful if somebody just hit that button and hit the notification bell, and that button is totally free. Everything is free here, so it doesn't cost you a dime to just do it, and it will help not only me but other smaller channels also if they have that hype button. Enough of me, blah 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 blah. Let us talk about the word and my thoughts about the word for this week here. I have my little red book ready here, and I put all my pieces in here every week. In fact, I have 2 books. The other one here is so fat and chunky, and I've started a second one up, and at one point I will make a cover for it, but I haven't figured quite out how to do that. But now that is ready here. My pieces are 14 by 14 centimeters, and I know Rita is suggesting a little less. I think she's talking about, yeah, how much? It's about 10 by 10 centimeters, and that is, what is that, 2.5? Yeah, I can't figure, my brain is a little, And I won't say the word because that word is the same as what my brain was right now, but I will tell you in a second. But that doesn't matter. You can, of course, do them in what size you want. Also, I have chosen to make mine black, white, and red this challenge through here. And that is not the best choice I have made because I haven't been doing it very easy for myself. But I will continue, and now we are so far in here in this challenge, so I will continue. I'm quite stubborn when it comes to doing things when I have decided so. But here we go. As I said before, right now my brain was a little, and here comes the word misty. And when I heard the word misty, the first thing that got into my mind was a lovely, lovely old song by Ella Fitzgerald. You can find it everywhere. Just Google it, and it is, oh, I really like that song. I'm not a big jazz fan, but this song is really, really nice. So try to hear that. The other thing I'm thinking about is I have yeah, it's not a disease, but I have too high pressure in my eyes, so I drip them 4 times a day with some different things. And right after I have done that, I have no trouble with doing it, and I can do it myself, and it doesn't hurt or anything. But a little minute after that, my vision always is a little misty. But both Ella Fitzgerald and my eyes, I don't think I can use for interpret that word here in my little piece. But the last thing I'm thinking about is when I'm driving in my car home from Copenhagen, or I'm driving away from where I live early in the morning, or driving home from Copenhagen early in the night, I come to a specific place in the landscape where there is it's not a valley like you would understand, because then there are mountains and valleys, but we don't have mountains in Denmark. But it's a place in the landscape where it hollows down, and it is lower, and the ground is higher on both sides, and the road goes through there. And very often in the early morning hours or late in the evening, there where the temperature is shifting and the sun is going down or coming up, it gets so misty, so sometimes you can't nearly look through that mist. And here in Denmark we have a saying that it is a bog woman who is brewing. I don't know if you say that in other countries, but it is translated word to word. You have perhaps have another saying about this, but it is both very beautiful and a little scary at the same time. So I think that is what I will go for, doing some landscapey thing and give it a misty look. So that is my plan. So I again have my black substrate here, and today, since I'm sewing a red square directly on, I don't need to bagging and do some invisible basting with another piece of fabric, because I already will be having 2 layers here. And then I have these 2 see-through, very thin. It is one of them is pure silk organza, and the other one is some kind of synthetic organza, but that doesn't mind. It doesn't matter here in this case if it's one thing or the other. So I think I will place them over in some landscapey way, something like that perhaps, and then I will do some stitching with a very thin thread, I think, so it will. Of course I could take a thick thread and sew here and place that over, but I think I will go for the sewing over. So that is my plan, stain. And I can see I want to be more in frame and come further in. So now I will find the red thread and just tack that down here first. So that is what I will be doing. To make it a little easier for myself, and this will be sitting there, not being sliding around, I would just give it a dab of glue, and that would dry very quick. And I'm only sewing here in the circumference. Yeah, I don't know if you can call it a circumference when it is a square, but on all four sides. And when I start stitching, this is no problem. And it isn't for holding it permanent, it is just a helping tool. And I take all the help I can get, the most easy ways, let us say it so. And I've taken this red thread here, and I think I will just do running stitches all the way around, so I can see it, but not screaming in my face seeing it. And running stitches, you perhaps all know if you're used to sewing. It is the simplest stitch you can do. It is just up and down and up and down. Yeah, that is all. And you don't need to see that. That isn't so exciting. But before anybody asks me what thread I'm using, I use this mercerized cotton thread. It is my favorite thread to sew with. It is smooth and shiny, and it goes through everything like you wish. And I now writing it down here because I get on nearly every video where I use this thread, get asked what it is, and I'm not affiliated with it in any way. They don't know I'm doing this, and I don't get paid to say it or anything. But the brand is a Dutch brand called Venne, and the thread is, the count of it is NM34/2, and it is mercerized cotton. Yeah, it's a little interesting. We are also in week 34. Yeah, take a screen dump if you want to find out if you could buy it there where you live, but they have a website, I know. But that was just a little extra info for those of you who are interested. And originally it is made for weaving, but I really like to sew with this thread. And I know many of you perhaps are using DMC, and DMC is also a very good quality embroidery thread, but I don't like 6 strands, 2 strands, 3 strands, because I have hard time to make them following along side by side, and they always end up like a bird's nest, that little skein you buy. So I have trouble with it, so that is why I like these spools. And you can also get them in spools that are like this size, so you don't need to buy such a big one. Yeah, that was just a little info here. So I will sew this on all the way around. So the red piece is sitting there. So now I think I will have a small strip of the black representing the ground. And I of course could make it like this, but I can also just go over here directly. Whoop, yeah, decisions, and yeah, I think I can try here just to rip a small piece of it off here first and see how that looks. There. It's a really flimsy fabric. Yeah, it is hardly fabric, but of course it is fabric. But and then again, oh, not cut the stitches. And yeah, there. So that could be the ground. Yeah, and that went a little. Is it too small or is it okay? I think it's okay. I don't mind. I can see the red around since I've taken time to do the stitching there. And then I want a piece of this here on the top here, and I think I want the other in these. No, I don't want that. That is a self edge, I think, here. They are a little long, these there. Let me see if I can tear something off here. There. Oh yeah, they yeah, it is quite lovely, but it's perhaps is a little too much. So I think I will cut it off in the width, or in the, yeah, that is the width. And then I will go to my bin and cut a little of these off. They are they are quite yummy, but here, if they were going this way, it would have been really nice, but now it's going the other way. So let me just do that. I think I will just use my small applique pins here just to secure it here. There, this strip is sitting there. And now for this strip, there, I can see I made it a little too wide. Do I dare to cut a strip of it off? Yeah, let me see. There. It isn't much. Ooh. If it goes wrong, yeah, I can't do that. You can't say it that way. And I don't think I want to cut it. But I have to, of course, if I want. Then I would perhaps put it under. It is so flimsy to cut into. Whoops. And put it up here and here. I think I will put some needles in, or pins, not needles. It reminds me of an old song, Needles and Pins. I can't remember who it was. It was some English band. Yeah, and it's too white also. Bob, I have this other piece here. Is that better in size? Yeah, it is. Yes, it is, it is, it is. So I go for it like it is here. Put pins in here. There, and then this can go under there. So that is my mist. Oh my, it is fraying so much, but I think I will nurse it when I'm done sewing. There. Now I have a base to sew onto. There it is. And what do I want to do? I think I would take my soft pencil, if I can find it, it is here. And then I will sew with this color here down, and I will sew with the black thread here. Thin, just ordinary machine sewing cotton. And normally I don't embroider with that, but to make it so delicate and not thick in any way, I will use these threads. And I think I will try to draw something that could imitate trees without any leaves or foliage on, something like this here. And see, and I will start here. I will just eyeball it, I think, but I will start with the black here. And I can sew back stitches, but I can also sew stem stitches or feather stitches. There are many options, but I think I will go for the stem stitch, and I think I'll always put some smaller branches on. And yeah, I should just figure out which way I should go. And stem stitches, I do them like this. I come up and go a little further ahead on the line and come up. And for me, the important thing is to make it nice is to come up. So you have this thread here on the same side all the time. And you can see I have my thread here on this side here, so don't put it over there and then there and then there. Yeah, that could also be a kind of stitching, but it's not nice if you want a nice curvy line. And you can, here I think I will make them quite small, because it's a thin thread I'm using here. Small and small, but it's just following the line now, so there isn't so much to think about. If you're really good at drawing, you will probably have it easier just doing it without have a reference line to follow. And you can also just try, and then your tree will be like it is in your mind or in your imagination. So I'm nearly hitting the, can I come in a little closer? Yeah, I can, I think. Yeah, I'm nearly hitting the little pin now. So I could just go down here. Oopsie. So that is the first little line there. Away with that. And I think I will just give it a little straight stitch more here and into that there. That looks nice. And if you want to break the thread or just start another place, that is up to you. I think since it is at such a short distance, I will just have the thread floating here on the back side. Oops, and I got to tighten this a little too much. There we go. again. But I will sew. Yeah, that was, what on earth am I doing here? Up with it. I was coming up the down, up or down the wrong place. One thing that's nice with sewing with this thread is it is so easy to thread your needle because it's such a thin thread. There. And here we go again. I think I will sew the rest of this tree here and see how that looks. And then I can show it to you. Oh, the first little tree, and I know I am not done yet, but I get tangled up with these pins all the time, and I quite forgot. And isn't that strange? Because in every of these videos I start about doing some invisible basting, and there hasn't been any invisible basting so far here in this video, but here we go. So I will just do that here with the fabrics here, the sheer or translucent fabrics. So I come up in the fabric and go a couple of threads back. Yeah, you can't hardly count threads here in this thin fabric here, but a little back, and come up about a centimeter ahead of you, and that way you will get a very small dot on the front side of your fabric and a long thread on the back side of the piece. And here I'm doing it in black right now, so you probably can't see a thing. So I will do that, and then when I start doing it on the light fabric here, you better can see it. So here we go with the light fabric. You come up and then you go tiny way back and come up about a centimeter ahead of you. And now you can see that very small little dot there. And pardon my not so clean nails, but I was playing with dyes and fabric yesterday, and I have been scrubbing them, but sometimes it's a little tough to get everything off. So again, down here and up a little ahead of you, and then you get the tiniest, smallest dots here on the front. And on the back you can see these long stitches here. And now I can remove that needle here. No, not needle, pin. So I will do that all the way around, and then the fabric will be attached and not sliding around, and I will not get pinched by needles. Okay, so you can see this is based down here, and now it's sitting there nicely and much easier to handle instead of all these pins. But I have more thread here, and I'm nearly here at the where the tree is ending in the black, so I will just come up here and yeah, what do I do? I think I will just make some yeah, I'm in the wrong end if I want to do stem stitches, because if I want to do stem stitches I want to go down here. So I will just put my needle in again. I can't do it the other way around, but let me see. I think I will just go in here and hit that end of the beginning of the black line there. Oops, and now my, yeah, that is too, it's not curvy enough, so off with it again. And if I just could make a line, but you can't see it here. So I will just pick it up and try again, because I want it to be like I want it to be and not anything else. I will try again. Go a little out here. See if that is better. There. I think it is. I like that curve more. So I will make 2 more of these, and probably a branch more here of the black, and then I can show it to you and perhaps make a smaller tree thing out there. I don't know if I think that looks like a tree, but it looks like some plant or some species of some kind. So and here, just to make a little more, I think I will just make some straight stitches in different lengths here. And make them a little, yeah, straight, but yeah, you can see a little, not diagonal, but in a little other directions here, perhaps some of them shorter and some of them taller. It couldn't be more easy than this little stitch here. Nothing fancy about that. Long, short, a little crooked, and in all kinds of directions here. I can bring you in a little closer here. And I don't think if it needs much more. Normally I don't do anything that you can see is supposed to look like a thing you can recognize. I'm not into realistic things, and this is somehow starting to become a little too realistic or real. Whoops, for my the thread ran out of my needle, but a little too, yeah, what what is it called? I struggle a little with the word here. Representative, yeah, you know what I mean. Normally I don't do that. And that doesn't mean I don't like other people are doing it. I'm not a snob, or I don't have an opinion about what other people should like and don't like, and what they should do and not do. I think the most important thing is that they like what they are doing. That I think is important. So that must be enough of that. Yeah. So I will just bury it here or go under all the long stitches there. I don't take specifically care of my back sides because they are going in that book. And I can see that there's, yeah, it's probably because I've been ripping and tearing. There's some thing there that looks, yeah, it's okay to me that it looks like that, but yeah. Others would perhaps start to put in a sun or a moon, or yeah, sun it probably can't be by the way I described it, but then it gets too much for me. I think I will let it be here as it is and say that is enough. I could of course take some whites and go the other way down here in the black, but again, no, I will let it be like this here and say that this was a quite quick one today, but you don't always have to use a lot of time. That I don't think that is the meaning here either, that you should use all day long for this. There, yeah, it is. So that would be that for this week here. So I will take the book and get ready to glue it in, and just before I do that, remember to take a picture and some close-ups here of the piece here. So let us glue it in the book. And here it is. Turn it over. Find the double-sided tape. Of course you can glue it in with, or sew it in. You could also, if you don't mind, to have stitches on the back side of your paper, or perhaps you have a book where you only put pieces there and nothing there, and then there would be some stitching there, but you could also do that. Or perhaps you don't have a book at all. Perhaps you sew them on a scroll, or you have a big piece of fabric and sew them up square by square, or perhaps you have a board sketchbook where you just place them in, or yeah, if you don't do any of these things, that you just do it because you enjoy doing it, but don't care so much about what is going to happen with your pieces, put them in a box, and once in a while take that book, box, scroll, piece of fabric, or whatever you are doing, take it and place it in front of you and go through it and think of all the nice things you have done and all the hours you have used on such great things here, and all the inspiration you get here. 34, and it was Misty. Now when I think about the word Misty, isn't there an awful film, a movie by a book by Stephen King where there's a very nasty lady? Wasn't she also called Misty? When I think about it, yeah, perhaps you know that, but that was just a side note. So here it is, done and dusted, and ready for the next weeks. I hope I have room enough here for the last weeks. I think I was wrong, because perhaps the name not was Misty but Missy or something. I can't remember. So if I'm totally wrong, excuse me. But else I will just round this video up and say, if you're one of those people who are doing this word challenge and has a hard time with words like I have, perhaps this can give you some inspiration, looking at what I have done, and set you off to do other things, or by me telling you of the things I'm thinking of when I heard the word Misty. That could perhaps be helpful, because I'm thinking it's a big mouthful sometimes to interpret a word. Yeah, especially these words that's not if it was the sun or the moon or a flower or a tree, or that would be easier, not easier for me, but easier for those of you who have perhaps do something you can see, you do something that looks like it is what it is. But all these I call them, yeah, I don't know, they have a grammatic words in English, and I don't know these words, but I can call them feeling words, or words to describe things more specifically. I think they are hard to interpret. Yeah, but on the other side, it is good to have a challenge. That's not the only way, but that is one of the ways we get better and we move on and develop ourselves and our skills, I think. So in that way of looking at it, it is good, and it is got to be put a little out of your comfort zone sometimes. Not so much so you don't want to do it and you say that is absolutely nothing for you, but we all need a little push and nourishment and something to make us go forward in our career here as artists, or just developing our skills. So I hope this helps. Anyhow, I hope you are being creative and playful in things you are doing, and I also hope that you would be nice to yourself and look gentle on the things you are doing, and not compare yourself to everybody else and think they are much better. Also, please be nice to everybody around you. Smile to your neighbor, kiss your dog, and make the most of your life, even though it can be hard in these crazy times the world are in right now. So I would just say bye for now, and I can't remember if I'm home next Saturday, but if I am, I will make a movie. But if I'm not, I will just make it by myself and show it in the group what I end up with doing. And not next Saturday, but next Saturday again. I think I'm on vacation, and there I know I won't be doing it. I'm going a trip to, yeah, what is it called? Bilbao, or up in Spain, the country up there where they want to be independent, and see different things there just for a week or so. So I will be back again soon. When you have holidays or vacation, such a week goes like, and then you're home and back in the treadmill again. Yeah, I will just say bye for now. Take care, and see you soon again. Hej, farvel, adieu, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, so long.